Alright. I think I'll crack some more codes for you guys. Alright, so I think I've figured out what's causing the eclipse, and I'm gonna get into that here in another segment. But let's kind of look at this whole Portaelvcis or whatever the fuck that shit was, where what I presume to be one of our philosopher Freemason ruler guys holding the 9 wonders of the world by the foundation, which is this little space here. He had it in his hand, which meant that this was the foundation of the whole thing. This is like the whole thing would be considered the whole world, you know, in its entirety. And it's more land being hidden from us, I guess, if you will. That would be the riddle. More land beyond the poles. So hypothetically, you know, I'm kind of like piecing it together according to like how it all fits, according to how our discussions and everything, and just really absorbing the sun's energy and its wisdom. And I'm able to put these clairvoyant thoughts together to kind of piece it all together. And it's pretty clear, but it is crazy because we didn't learn this in school. But we do have to start over, and we have to start somewhere, and we have to figure this shit out. So you guys, if you ever look at Grim Nasty's telescope proves firmament dome, you'll see all of these stars appear to be projected down, and they swirl on an automated kind of like situation, like the whole Polaris time lapse. It swirls and swirls around the Polaris, which apparently, or perhaps may be wide enough to hold Rupus Nigra's trunk all the way up. Now, one thing you'll notice is that if you watch the Grim Nasty's telescope proves flat Earth firmament dome, you'll see it. It's probably like 20 videos back, but you'll see it. And these little discs, this also look like the soul orbs. They're kind of like that. These are the stars right here. And there's water rolling over them. So they kind of look kind of like that. Some weird shit with some lines through it. But if you look at it closely, when the stars twinkle in the sky, it literally looks like how my telescope picks it up, which is just a flat disc and with water rolling over it. So now if you can imagine how big you are compared to a star. I mean, you looking up at the firmament, you can see the star. But if you look down from the firmament down to Earth, you would see continents. Which I'm saying is the stars are fucking huge as fuck. Stars are bigger than a motherfucker. Now, what I noticed is that when I could see the stars, I could see the ripples of the water, and the ripples are huge, and something disturbed it. So then I was like, what the fuck? I was like, give me a break. Something disturbed it. Something swam over it. Watch my video. I'm telling you, something disturbed the light of the star, and something swam over it. So let's put that into perspective. Whatever that fucking thing was bigger than a motherfucker. Whatever it was bigger than a continent, bigger than what the stars would look like looking down upon the flat Earth, which would be literally a continent. Now I'm looking up from a damn continent up at the stars, and I can see the star because the star is that damn big, probably the size of Texas. Who the fuck knows how big that damn star was? But my telescope looked at it, and it had some surface tension to it. It was some water rolling over it, and it was some surface tension over it, and then it went subtle, and then it went back into surface tension again. I was like, what the fuck is disturbing the water? So yeah, if you look at the diagrams, the different ones of the 9th wonders, you'll see that there are sea creatures. Like there's like one big one that's like swimming around out there or whatever, around this tree or whatever. So hypothetically, I'm just putting it together, man. Whatever disturbed that water was a big motherfucker. I don't know what it was. I didn't see it firsthand, but I've seen the drawings and these illustrations, and it's enough to conclude something quite interesting along the lines of this. So let's see what else. All right, so something else that I found to be quite interesting is, since these are all flat discs spinning around their own individual polarises, which is a signification of maybe an entrance or an exit, the sun is also spinning around on its own automated path within this space between the two polarises. The sun stays like right around here, and it circles the flat earth here because the continents are all here within this space. That makes sense. And all this is all just ocean, like deep abyss that goes down, down, down. And this is all the continents right here. And this would be like a 35-mile wide Rupus Nigra, which maybe is a little bit more exaggerated, but you get my point. All of this water and everything outside of this is more fresh than anything that's inside of here. I'm gonna do a story on that too here real soon. But you can really get a good look at what this person was holding and the Portaelvcis. I'm gonna type it into my text body so that way you guys can get a proper pronunciation of it, and that way you can kind of like look it up for yourselves and see this ninth wonders of the world situation set up here. And I'm gonna get into the next part, which is I'm gonna explain how the eclipse works on a setup like this too as well. So this right here, just let me explain this. I'm not trying to say, hey, because I haven't been to Sharafaland yet, but just to say hypothetically, according to this person's diagram, or the Freemason occult diagram, that this would be in a completely different, separate domain of its own. I shortened it here so that I can show how the tree would kind of follow through the wormhole. But then here, if it was in its own place and not half of the flat earth, then it would perhaps have a black sun sitting at the anchor right at the center, not going anywhere, not moving, not circling around like the sun does here. It just sits there right in the center and feeding off of this whole root system here, this energy source, this aurora borealis. So yeah, it looks automated in a way, but divinely created in an automated, metaphysical, mechanical type way. That's organic but mechanical at once. How the fuck is that? Well, I suggest you guys just start digging through this stuff yourselves, because, you know, I can't do this on my own, but at the same time, I mean, we can all put our heads together, and at the same time, you know, there's more out there to learn, because this shit here, this is heavy, and this is huge. This is crazy. It's crazy. But it makes sense because we know that the Earth horizon line into the line of sight is completely flat. Straight ahead into the line of sight is a flat motherfucker. So, yeah. Take a look at it for yourself and stay awake.